Okay, so now we're talking about translations. So here we have the figure that is the original triangle ACD on the top. Then on the bottom we have the image triangle A', C', D'. I know that this is the image because of the little tick marks on each of the coordinates. Okay, so remember we discussed that a translation is a rule that moves a figure by sliding it. And in this case, it appears that if I look at the original A and the new A', it appears that our figure has moved to the right and down. And if I look up here at the rule, this says take the original coordinates and translate it by moving it 2 units to the right and 6 units down. And I can confirm that. If I go to A and I count over 1, 2, and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice I'm right back on A'. So similarly, for C, if I go over 1, 2, and down 6, I'm right at C'. And this is how this works. So over here, it asks us to find the coordinates of the image. So for A, notice that initially A was at -10, 2, and then it becomes, by the translation, the new coordinates are going to be -10 plus 2, so the x plus 2, and 2 minus 6. So that means that A''s coordinates are now -8, -4, which I take a look at, and I can confirm that by looking at the graph. Okay. So let's do the same now for C'. Okay, so C'S original x-coordinate was -8, to which I'm going to add 2 because of the rule. And for the y-coordinate, it initially was 6, and I'm going to subtract 6. So we get that the C'S coordinates are going to be -6, 0. And I notice that that is confirmed by the graph. For D, again, D' will be, if I take its x-coordinate and add 2, and take its y-coordinate and subtract 6, that gets us that D' is going to be at 0, -2, which it is. Pretty cool. So that's how this all works. Okay. So here when it says to name the translation from the solid figure, that's our original, to the dashed figure, that'll be our image, that means to write the rule. So x, y, so the original coordinates, are going to translate by, let's take a look here. So again, this one's our original, this one's our image, and let's look at A to A'. It looks like A is moving over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coordinates to the left, so left 5, and then it's going, let's take a look. It looks like it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so left 5 means x minus 5. And up 4 means y plus 4. So my rule is going to be x minus 5, y plus 4. Okay, and I can confirm that that is true. Let's do B. B, if I go left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right there at B'. C also does the same, left 5 and up 4. And that's how we get the rule for the translation. So remember, moving left would be subtraction. Moving right is when we do plus. Up is addition. Down is subtraction. Left and right goes with x. Up and down goes with y. Okay. So triangle P, which is at the coordinates 2, 5, Q, 7, 5, R, 10, 0, is translated by the rule x minus 8, y plus 4. Graph both the original and its translation. Notice that the rule, let's describe that in words. So x minus 8 means a left 8 translation, and y plus 4 means up 4. So I have to first graph the original triangle. Okay, So triangle P is at 2, 5. There's P. Q is at 7, 5. And R is at 10, 0. Okay, so I'm going to connect those. Okay, so that's my original, and now I'm going to translate it by going left 8 and up 4 from each of those. So now I'm going to do P prime. So from P, I'm going to go left 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sorry, left 8 and up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where I can write P, and I want to make sure I do the prime. Okay, now for Q prime, left 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's Q prime. Okay, and for R, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I make my triangle by connecting the vertices. Okay, and there's my image triangle, P prime, Q prime, R prime. Check. Okay. Alrighty. So taking a look here, if the point xy undergoes a translations 3 units to the left and 2 units up, what are the coordinates of the image point? Well, that would be found by writing the rule. So the original is x comma y, and that's going to translate, well, x would be 3 units to the left, so that's subtracting 3 from x, and 2 units up means to add 2 to y. Okay. Can a translation be best described as a flip, turn, or slide? The correct answer is slide. A flip would be a rotation, and a turn, sorry, a flip would be a reflection, and a turn would be a rotation. Slide is the best for translation. In 3, name the translation that takes point B to point B prime. Well, it looks like it was just a vertical change. So the initial coordinates, x comma y, are going to change. X is staying the same, but y looks like it's going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'd be y plus 8. Okay. In the accompanying diagram, a child travels from the top of the slide to the bottom. What translation best describes the child's change in location? Okay, so from the top to the bottom. So initially they're x comma y, and then they go down and to the right. So to the right is a plus 10, and down is subtract 6. Okay. Billy starts at the point due -4. He travels due north 5 units, due west 3 units, and then due north again 4 units. Okay, so due north would be up 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then due west 3, 1, 2, 3. And then due north again 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's Billy's new location, and that is at the coordinates -1, 5. What translation has moved point P to point P prime? Well, I notice that it looks like it has gone up and over to the right, or sorry, to the left. So therefore, initially, x comma y becomes x. Now since it's to the left, it's subtract, and it looks like it's gone over 1, and y has gone up 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's how we do our translations. Translate the triangle 2 units right and 4 units up. What are the coordinates of the image? I notice here it gives me a spot to write the coordinates of A, B, and C, the original, and I'm going to go ahead and do that first. But notice, if you take a look, the graph, the scale is counting by 2's on the y and on the x-axis. So I'm going to keep that in mind while I work on this problem. Okay, so the original coordinates of point A appear to be at -2, -1. B's original coordinates are 0, 2. And C appears to be at 3, 0. Okay, so to translate the triangle 2 units to the right and 4 units up, I'll start at point A and go over 2 units to the right. Remember, 2 units right, given that this is counting by 2's, just means to go over basically 1. That's to hold 2 units. And 4 units up means to go up 2. So up 1, up 2. So that would be point A prime. Now B prime, over 2, up 4. And C prime, over 2, up 4. Okay, connecting those. And there you go. And now I can confirm that we've done this correct. If we go to look at the coordinates, so it's 2 to the right, so that'd be plus 2. So that's why this is at 0, and 4 units up makes that 3. And I can confirm, look, 0, 3 for A prime. Cool. So this should be at 2, 6, 2, 6, which it is, and C, 5, 4. And there you have it, 5, 4. Although we have it at, and that's where we have an interesting dilemma. We don't have it at 5, 4, we have it at 6, 4, which means that when I originally moved it over, I moved it over 3 units. Or sorry, yes, 3 units. Oops. So that's a mistake instead of 2, so we can fix that. Did you catch that initially? Good. Beautiful. Okay, so the vertices of a square are A is at 1, -2, B is at 3, -2, C is at 3, -4, and D is at 1, -4. Draw the figure and its image after a translation 4 units to the left and 6 units up. So the original. Okay, 1, -2. B is at 3, -2. Okay, and then I'm just going to move this so that there's more space. Okay, C is at 3, -4. And D is at 1, -4. Okay, that's the original. And now for the translation. Okay, 4 units left and 6 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's A prime. B prime should be just next door. Okay. And now D prime. And C prime. And that's our image. Very nice. Okay, and now here's a nice little summary of how to translate a figure. Take a look, make sure it all looks okay to you, and there you have it. Okay, so next time we're going to work on reflections.